Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all. I'm back with this real quick video here. I just got done watching this recent interview with Erin Blanchfield. And once again, as y'all know, every time a new face comes into the flyweight division, that one question comes up, right? They just come into the game and they're just trying to make a statement. They're just trying to make a name for themselves. They're just trying to rack up some wins. But of course, everybody's going to ask about that one name as soon as that fighter comes in and they look like something, right? Now, I know I call Erin Blanchfield. I put her in my quadruple threat now. I think she has the potential to rise to the top. But it's like I said, people, they read that the wrong way. They think I'm saying that she's a legend already. But no, it's like I said, I think she has enough tools right now to advance faster than some of the other fighters, right? She has enough tools to get into the top 10. That's what I'm saying. I think that she has the tools. But when we talk the champion, that's a different thing, right? Because it's always, like I said, there's the flyweights and then there's Shevchenko level, right? That's how it works in the flyweight division. So I know you have to be a different animal to get to Valentina Shevchenko. I know that. But everybody else, it's always like 50-50. So with what Erin Blanchfield is bringing to the table, she's not that far off. Let's be honest. She's not that far off. But, back to this interview, she did an interview with the Wmma. And, of course, like I said, every time a new face comes in, they ask her about that name, Valentina Shevchenko. Now, she did bring up Valentina's name after the Miranda fight, at the post-fight interview, last Saturday. She said, I'm just fighting my way up. I'm going to try to fight my way up the rankings. I'm going to try to improve as a fighter, take on the fights that I need to eventually get to Valentina Shevchenko, right? She didn't say, I want Valentina Shevchenko today, or, I can fight her in a couple more fights, or I'll whoop her now. You know what I mean? She didn't say anything like that. She was just basically saying that, look, this is what I'm here to do. And I think that's what a lot of people, they read the wrong way, like whenever Erin says it or the way Miranda said it. They're letting you know that, look, I'm here to graduate. It's like I said, if you're going to college, you're not going to college just to take classes. You know what I mean? If you have a major, you're going to want to graduate at some point, right? You're going to want to become a senior. You're going to want to advance, and then you want to graduate. You want to get your degree, right? That's what it's all about. So when you come into the division, you should already have your mindset to say, hey, I want to fight these certain fights, that they give me to improve as a fighter. And then eventually I want to get to the belt, right? But I think some people read that the wrong way. But the way Erin said it, I get it. And every time somebody asks a question, they're going to answer it. They're going to have to answer it, because if they don't, people will say, they're scared of the champion, no matter what level they're on. So I can't really get mad at Erin or any of these fighters when they do mention her name, because everybody's bringing the name up. Everybody's always bringing the name up. Now, I know if people are in other divisions, like, if you're in the strawweight division or the bantamweight division and they ask you about Valentina, don't even worry about it. That's not even your business at the moment, right? That's not your goal. But for somebody like Erin, she is going to address it. She should address it. But let me pull up this interview here. I just want to pull up some of the highlights here of what she said. So whenever she was asked about Valentina Shevchenko, she just basically said, look, I feel like everyone thinks Valentina is unbeatable, but that's not true about anybody. And I don't know if there's anybody like right now that's going to beat her until I get there, but I know I definitely will. So that's a bold statement. That is a bold statement, but you're supposed to think that way. I mean, the first part, like she said, look, I feel like everyone thinks Valentina is unbeatable, right? That's how a lot of people approach it. And that's to me the wrong mind frame. A lot of people overly respect Valentina Shevchenko. Now, you are supposed to respect what she can do, but as a fighter in the same division, you have to understand, like, you have the same goal as Valentina, right? To build your legacy. I mean, some of y'all do. I mean, some fighters do. I don't know. Some just want to wear the jersey, right? I don't know, but that's another story. But when it comes down to being in the same division, you got to say, okay, I like what this fighter does. She's real good at this. She's real good at that. So I have to study her, and I can't get caught up in the respect to the point where I'm going to bow down to her. You can't do that. So I think I definitely understand where Erin's coming from. She's saying that everybody in there right now is thinking she's unbeatable, and I think there's two sides to that, which I'll get to here in a minute. But it's like she said, nobody's unbeatable, and that's letting you know that Erin right now is working towards that goal, and that's what you're supposed to do. That's why I said in one of my other videos, the fact that you come into the division, as new blood doesn't mean, some people think that the fact that you come in as new blood in the division, that you just have to turn your cheek away from the champion and ignore her and just act like you're scared of her. But no, like, or overly respect her, like I said. But no, like, you have to continue to watch her all the while, focus on your own fights, but you still have to keep the eye on the prize. Like, you have to look at what Valentina does and, what she does right, what she does wrong, and continue to build yourself as a fighter. Because Erin's like 22 years old. So I think she's at the right age right now where she can kind of soak it in and say, okay, this is what I can do to maybe nullify or get the respect of Valentina, you know, with my body frame and my style. This is the certain things that I got to improve on. And these are the bad habits that I got to get rid of to fight Valentina, right? You know what I mean? Like, you have to keep an eye on the champion. Like, you have to study her. You can't just say, oh, she is unbeatable. You know, I think you go in with that mind frame, you've already been beaten, right? And then it's like she said, look, I don't know if anybody's going to do it right now, but when she gets there, she said, look, I definitely will. And that's a good mind frame to have. You have to have that mind frame and say, I definitely will win the fight, because it's like Juliana Pena said, right? I deserve the title shot. A lot of us said, oh, you know, a lot of people, well, I won't say me, because I said give her the title shot, but a lot of people felt like Juliana Pena didn't deserve the title shot, right? But she said, look, I deserve it. I'm going to go in there and win. You know, I got the skills to beat her. You know, I'm going to keep studying her. I've been studying her, and I know how to offset Amanda Nunes. I know what irritates her. I know what takes her out of her comfort zone. And boom, what did she do? She won. So somebody like Erin Blanchfield, the position she's in right now, she can keep studying Valentina and eventually get to that point where she's like number 10 or number 8 or number 7 and said, okay, I know what Valentina Shevchenko does. You know, I want that title shot, right? So where she's at right now, of course, she's not going to get a title shot, but the demeanor that she carries, you know, the aura that she carries, and if she can carry these mic skills up, you know, and continue to beat girls and go on an undefeated streak, then yeah, I think she could talk herself into a title shot when she gets to 7 or 8. But, you know, it's like I said, she just has to carry that energy consistently throughout, you know, throughout her, you know, throughout the next few years in the UFC before she can get there. Do I think she's ready right now? No, not at all. And she knows that too. That's why she said when she gets there eventually. But it's like I said, going back to the unbeatable thing, it's like she said, a lot of people take that approach where Valentina is unbeatable. But sometimes I don't even think it's that. Like, it is that with some fighters. Like, some fighters like Andrea Lee, they will say Valentina is near perfect. Or like Lauren Murphy, she'll say, oh, I was in there playing one-on-one with Michael Jordan, right? They'll take it to that level where you already know that their skills are nowhere up to par, or they're not going to give anything to Valentina Shevchenko that she's never seen before, right? So there's that part of it where they feel like she is unbeatable and she is near perfect. But then there's the other side to it. So it's either they're feeling Valentina's unbeatable, or it's just the fact they're beatable and that they're not up to par on what they need to be doing, right? And I think that's a big chunk of it right there, because if you go into some other divisions, even men's divisions and even Amanda Nunes division, there are still some fights out there, like you just saw this past Saturday, where where Amanda Nunes can be upset, you know, if she's off her game, right? The skills kind of even themselves out in these other divisions, right? But the way Valentina's skills are, and I know we're going to say it's the competition thing, but no, it's the way Valentina trains and commits herself. That's why she steps out of the box. That's why she's, you know, on her own, man. Like, if all these other girls kind of, you know, put themselves and dedicated themselves the same way she did, then it would be more of an even playing field, of course, right? But what I'm saying is, like, she's just like a freak of nature when it comes to it. Like, her work ethic is different than any of these other champions in WMMA, right? Even if you go to other organizations, like Valentina's work ethic and discipline separates itself from Amanda Nunes. She's separating herself from Rose Namajunas. You know, she separated herself from, you know, like Zhang Wei Li. She separated herself from Ronda Rousey. You know, all of these fighters, because she was like I said, covering all the bases, right? That's why she is where she is, and that's why these fighters are saying she's unbeatable, because she's doing extra while these other fighters, you know, I don't know, man. Like, some of them just don't seem like they want it. You know what I mean? Some of them just want to be career fighters, but some of them don't seem like they want that strap. You know, they don't want that strap. You know, it's not strap season for some of these fighters. Like, if you ask them, like, you ask some of the ones that are in the top 10, they're like, oh, well, I'll fight this person first, or, oh, you know, I'm not ready for it, or, you know, I'm just happy being here. I'll fight 10 more people if they put those people in front of me. I'm not worried about the champion, right? So that doesn't sound like somebody that's ready for a fight. So that sounds like they're already beaten. Not really the fact that Valentina's unbeatable. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, nobody's invincible in the game. Like, Valentina is beatable. You know, even if it is by a very close margin, Valentina can be beat, right? Valentina can be beat. We just don't have the right person to do it right now. But everybody that has a heart and pumps blood through it, flesh and blood, they can be beat. You just don't have the dedication on this side. That's why it's not that she's unbeatable. It's the fact that everybody else is beatable, right? It's the fact that they can be beat by wide margins, right? That's why Erin Blanchfield said what she said. That's why I think she said what she said. Like, everybody's in that mind frame where she's unbeatable, and I think moving forward, she's going to have that right mind state, to go ahead and say, look, okay, this is where Lauren Murphy failed. This is where she failed mentally. This is where Jessica Andrade failed, in a technical manner or mental manner. This is where Caitlin Chikagan, failed, because Erin Blanchfield and Caitlin Chikagan, they're teammates. They work together. So Caitlin Chikagan, she can give her some inside scoop on how the strength felt, how the range was of how the range and the timing was of Valentina Shevchenko, right? So she's got some good people on her squad. Even Tanisha Tennant, she can help her polish her striking skills up, her stand-up game for a fighter like Valentina Shevchenko. So it's interesting. It's interesting now that we have this new blood coming in. Some of these new faces coming in that they carry that energy and they carry themselves like they want to eventually get there. Those goal-oriented fighters. And that's all I'm saying. Like, fighters like Erin Blanchfield, Manon Firo, Miranda, and now Taylor Santos. Well, like I said, Taylor's up there, but, Taylor needed to make that call out. I wanted to hear her call the champion out, but we'll see if she gets it, But I think the division is going to be interesting in a few years. The more these fighters keep coming up and they weed out the old heads, you could throw Casey O'Neill in there, because I think that eventually Casey O'Neill will be a top 10 fighter. Eventually she'll get there, as long as she can get past Roxanne. If she can get past Roxanne, I could see her kind of shaking things up as far as like in the, around like 10 through 15, maybe like 8 through 13 or somewhere like that. I'm not saying she's like championship material, because I think Erin's a little bit more polished. Like, Erin, the way she carries herself, is her nickname. It's cold-blooded, man. It's like she's got her eye on the prize right now. She's building herself, and she's letting you know, this is what I'm going for. So I think as a fighter, Erin's really going to be shaping and molding herself to eventually, challenge for Valentina Shevchenko. And that's what we want. Like, to get there, you have to improve, and she knows that. I know a lot of people are saying she gets hit a lot now, but that's going to change. That's going to change. She's 22, like I said. She's going to be polishing herself up. She's going to be working on her defense. And if you want to get to Valentina, that's definitely something that's got to be improved. And I think that's something she's going to work on, because I've seen the improvements from her early career to now. She's really good at using her physical strength and her size. She knows how to impose her size. She's turning her shots over well. And, she's very, 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 very strong. She's very, very strong and assertive in there. So, I think we'll see some big things coming from Erin. But like I said, I know some people are going to take it a different way, because she's going to say, everybody's saying Valentina's unbeatable, but no, she can be beat. But then whenever somebody like Andrea Lee says she's near perfect, people will take that the wrong way. They'll say, oh, now Andrea Lee's scared. But whenever somebody like Erin says the opposite, like Valentina can be beat, they're going to be like, oh, man, Erin's thinking out of the box. She's not keeping her eye on the prize. She's trying to jump too far ahead, or, oh, she thinks she's smelling herself now that she beat Miranda Maverick. No, it's not that way. Like, she's just letting you know that eventually I want to get there, and I'm going to figure this code out. I'm going to try to figure this code out. And that's how you're supposed to talk. I want people in the division to say, I want to fight Valentina. I want her to have a challenge. I'm sick of these fighters that just lay down. I want to see a challenge now. I like the fact Valentina, her training pays off and she can go in there and blow people out. That's impressive. But this is the fight game. This is entertainment. Now, people want to see some drama. They want to see some drama. They want to see some action. They want to see entertainment where Valentina is taken to the, she's taken to that edge. They want to see her take it to the edge and maybe pull herself back up and knock somebody else off the edge. Hell, some people want to see Valentina knocked off the edge, right? And just fall. And they want to see a new champion, So I don't know. It's like, people got to accept that whenever somebody talks like this, like Erin Blanchfield, I just hope the energy carries on throughout the, next few years as she climbs her way up the rankings. She also voiced, what else did she talk about here? She also talked about fighting Tracy Cortez again. Tracy Cortez has a win over Erin Blanchfield because they fought before they got into the UFC. And she mentioned some interesting things about Tracy Cortez. I mean, she pretty much brought up the same thing I was thinking. Like, I don't really know where Tracy is right now. Is she fighting at 135 or 125? But she said this: if the fight comes along, I'll definitely take that fight. I know she was fighting at 135 for a while and she came to 125, but she missed weight. I'm not going to chase her. Want to move up the rankings, so if I have to fight her in order to get into the rankings or move up, I will. But if she's kind of dilly-dallying and she doesn't do anything, then I'm not going to go chasing her. Makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Like, I would like to see a rematch, but right now, like, I saw big things in Tracy Cortez, like, pre-UFC. I thought she was going to come in here and make some big statements like Manon and so on. Like, I actually had my eye on Tracy before Manon, you know, but it's like she said. That's why I was wondering. I was like, is she fighting at bantamweight or is she fighting at flyweight? Like, they could do a rematch, but I say, yeah, Erin, leave that fight alone if she wants to go up the rankings. Again, that's a good sign of somebody that has their eye on the prize. She said, if she's fighting at bantamweight, no, I'm not worried about that. I'm trying to climb up the flyweight rankings. Makes sense, right? So, yeah, I think we got somebody that really, really has a good head on their shoulders right now. You know, Erin Blanchfield was talking the game. And, yeah, I know a lot of people are going to feel some type of way when she said Valentina is not invincible, not unbeatable. She can't be beat. She's just saying that, look, eventually she'll be that fighter to do it. And you never know, man. I mean, as time goes on, if she gets up there in like the next 2 or 3 years, you never know, right? It's possible. I mean, as long as you speak it into existence, it can happen. I mean, we just saw that this past Saturday. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got. I just wanted to talk about that subject a little bit. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Do you like this type of talk from the young potential threats coming in? I do. I just hope they don't get sidetracked to where they feel themselves too much and they say Valentina ain't nothing, Valentina ain't nothing. I want them to understand how hard of a task that is. That's my point. I want them to work just as hard as Valentina or even harder to feel what it is that makes her the best and that separates herself from the rest of these other fighters, because that's what it all comes down to. Like I said, Valentina is not invincible. No, you know, she just works hard as hell and, you know, builds her armor to the point that it can't be penetrated by anybody in her division. That's what it is. Everybody else's armor, there's a lot of holes in there. Many holes. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.